Hi, welcome to our channel, Programming of Mind, where we accelerate your knowledge with concise, from high-value book summaries. Let's begin. The Boy Who Listened to His Heart, a journey that begins with restlessness. There are moments in life when a person feels restless without knowing why. A shepherd boy walked through the hills with his flock, yet inside his heart there was a whisper that told him he was meant for more. This feeling of restlessness is something every human experiences. You may have a job, a family, or even comfort, but there are nights when sleep does not come easily because your heart asks a question: what else is out there for me? The boy felt this in his bones. He loved his sheep, he loved the fields, but he also knew that the horizon was calling. Many people ignore that voice, but he decided to listen. Think about times when you felt trapped in routine. Maybe you worked at the same office desk year after year, or maybe you followed what society expected without asking if it was truly your path. The restless heart is not a curse, it is a compass. The boy's decision to follow his dream shows that sometimes leaving comfort is the first step to discovering purpose. Dreams that refuse to fade away. The boy often dreamed the same dream. In it, he saw treasure waiting for him in a faraway place near the pyramids. At first, he laughed at it. Who believes in dreams when reality is filled with daily struggles? But this dream refused to fade away. Again and again, it returned until he began to wonder if it carried a message. In life, we too experience recurring ideas. Maybe you think about starting a business, moving to a different city, or creating art. These ideas do not appear randomly. They're signals of the heart trying to guide you. There was once a young woman who worked in a bakery. Every morning she baked bread, but secretly she dreamed of opening her own cafe filled with laughter, music, and the smell of fresh pastries. For years she ignored the dream because people told her it was risky. But every time she touched dough, the idea returned. One day, she realized the dream was not leaving because it was part of her destiny. She opened her cafe, and though it was not easy, she created the life her heart had whispered about for years. The shepherd boy felt the same way. His dream of treasure was not about gold alone. It was about listening to his heart's call. Meeting the first guide. On his journey, the boy met a wise man who spoke about the language of the universe. This man explained that when a person desires something deeply, the entire universe moves to help him. At first, the boy did not understand, but slowly he realized that opportunities often appear when we dare to step forward. Consider someone who decides to learn a new skill. The moment they take the first step, teachers appear, friends encourage them, and resources become available. Life seems to rearrange itself to support those who act with courage. The boy's meeting with the wise man was not luck. It was proof that when you commit to your dream, guidance arrives. Selling comfort to buy possibility. The boy had to make a difficult decision. He owned sheep that gave him food, money, and security. But to chase his dream, he had to sell them. Imagine the fear of giving up everything you know for something uncertain. Many people never take this step because security feels safer than possibility. Yet greatness is born in risk. There was once a man who worked in a large company for 20 years. He had a stable salary, a house, and respect. But inside he longed to start his own business. For years he postponed it. One day the company closed, and he lost everything he thought was safe. It was then that he realized security is an illusion. He finally started his own business, and though the early years were hard, he built something greater than he ever imagined. The boy selling his sheep reminds us that sometimes we must let go of what we cling to in order to hold something larger. Crossing into the unknown, the boy set out toward a faraway land. He left behind his familiar fields and stepped into the unknown. The beginning was not easy. In a city he was robbed, left with nothing. He felt broken and alone. This is the moment that many face when they pursue a dream. At the start, instead of success, obstacles appear. The world tests your determination. When you begin a new journey, expect trials. Think of the athlete who trains for a marathon. On the first days, pain fills their legs, breath becomes heavy, and doubts shout louder than encouragement. But if they endure the early struggle, strength begins to grow. The boy losing everything was his test. Would he give up and return home, or would he continue? His decision to keep moving forward shows us that resilience is the key to transformation. Discovering treasure in work. After losing everything, the boy found work in a crystal shop. He cleaned the dusty shelves and arranged the fragile items with care. At first, he thought he was wasting time. His dream of treasure seemed distant. Yet in that shop, he learned valuable lessons. He learned patience, discipline, and the art of improving what already exists. The owner of the shop had given up on his own dreams, but through the boy's energy, the shop began to grow. This teaches us that even when you feel far from your goal, every experience has purpose. The student who works in a small cafe while studying may think the job is meaningless, but it teaches customer service, discipline, and resilience. The entrepreneur who fails at one idea learns lessons that prepare him for the next. The boy's time in the crystal shop was not wasted. It was shaping his character for greater adventures. The language of possibility. While working, the boy began to notice signs. He saw how small changes, like placing the crystals near the door, attracted more customers. He saw how courage brought growth. Slowly, he understood that life has a language, and those who pay attention can read it. This language is not spoken with words, but with events, feelings, and signs. In real life, this language appears when doors open unexpectedly. For instance, someone dreams of becoming a teacher. Suddenly, they meet a mentor who guides them, or they find an opportunity to volunteer. These are not accidents, they're signals. The boy realized that the universe communicates through such signs, and those who listen can follow the path of their destiny. Choosing between good enough and greatness. The boy earned money in the crystal shop, enough to return to his homeland and live comfortably. This was a turning point. He could go back and live a safe life, or he could continue toward the distant treasure. Many people face this choice. After a little success, they settle. They accept comfort instead of pursuing greatness. But the boy's heart reminded him of his dream, and he chose to continue. Think of an artist who becomes known in a small town. They could stop there, enjoying local fame, but deep inside they know their art deserves a wider stage. Or think of a student who passes exams easily and chooses an easy path rather than challenging themselves. The boy's choice to continue reminds us that settling for less than our dream leaves a quiet regret that lasts a lifetime. Walking with faith. As he left the shop and continued his journey, the boy carried more than money. He carried faith. Faith is not blind belief. It is the courage to walk even when the road ahead is unclear. He understood that destiny is not a straight path. It is a winding road filled with turns, setbacks, and unexpected blessings. Faith is the compass that keeps you moving. In life, you may not see the final picture, but if you trust the process, step by step, the path unfolds. The entrepreneur may not know if their business will succeed, but faith keeps them trying. The student may not know what job awaits, but faith keeps them studying. The boy shows that faith is the secret strength that turns dreams into reality. Thank you for listening, and please like the video and subscribe for more great upcoming content that will put you in top 1% people in the world.